You are standing near your window, watching the same birds that visit your yard every morning. Usually, they are calm. They land on the feeder. They peck at seeds. They hop across the fence like nothing in the world can touch them. But today, something is wrong. One bird lands, grabs nothing, and instantly flies away. Another keeps jumping from branch to branch, never staying still for more than a second. Their heads snap left, then right, then upward, as if they are tracking something you cannot see. The trees are still. The sky looks empty. There is no cat in the grass, no loud sound, no storm overhead. And yet every bird seems tense. It feels like the entire yard is holding its breath. You tell yourself it is probably nothing. But nature rarely moves without a reason. And the most disturbing part is this. Sometimes birds know something is coming before you do. At first, you keep watching because it feels strange. Not dramatic, not loud, just strange enough to make your eyes stay on the window. The feeder is full. The morning light is soft. The fence, the bushes, the branches, everything looks normal. But the birds are acting like the world has changed. A sparrow lands, then freezes. A robin turns its head sharply toward the roofline. A small group gathers in the tree, but instead of feeding, they keep shifting positions, flicking their wings, calling in short, nervous bursts. You search the yard with your eyes. Nothing. But that is what makes it unsettling, because the birds are not behaving like nothing is there. They are behaving like something is already known. And suddenly your peaceful backyard does not feel peaceful anymore. It feels like a living alarm system. Every hop, every pause, every quick flight carries a message you cannot fully read. Birds do not always scream when danger is near. Sometimes the first warning is smaller, quieter, almost invisible. But before you understand the warning, you have to notice the first sign everyone ignores. The first sign of a restless bird is usually not a loud call. It is movement. You notice it in the way a bird cannot settle. It lands on the feeder, but does not eat. It hops to the fence, then to a branch, then back again. Its body looks too alert for a normal morning. At first, you may think it is just playful. Birds move quickly. That is what they do. But restless movement is different. It has a pattern. The bird is not exploring. It is checking. It is comparing. It is asking one silent question again and again. Is this place still safe? A bird's life depends on fast decisions. It cannot pause for long analysis the way you can. A few slow seconds can mean the difference between escape and death. So its body reacts before the danger becomes obvious. You see a tiny bird grab one seed, look left, look right, then suddenly jump away. To you, it looks nervous. To the bird, it may be survival. Its eyes are reading motion. Its muscles are ready. Its whole body is listening. And once the movement changes, the next clue appears in the way they look at the sky. Then you notice something even stranger. The birds keep looking up. One small bird freezes on a branch. Its head tilts. One eye turns toward the open sky. Then another bird does the same. A few seconds later, nobody is feeding. You look up too. Blue sky. Empty air. Nothing moving. But birds do not see the sky the way you do. For them, the sky is not empty space. It is a hunting ground. A hawk can appear as a distant shape long before you recognize it. A falcon can move so fast that by the time you notice it, the smaller birds have already made their decision. Even the shadow of a passing bird can change the mood of an entire yard. This is not panic. It is prediction. Prey animals survive by acting before proof arrives. They do not wait until the predator is close enough to confirm. They respond to possibility. So when you see a bird stop eating and stare upward, it may not be staring at nothing. It may be watching a threat you are too slow to detect. And when one bird sees it, the fear does not stay with one bird. But the sky is not the only place birds are watching. Sometimes the real threat is already inside the yard. To you, the yard is just a yard. A fence, a tree, a feeder, a patch of grass. But to birds, that same space is divided into invisible borders. One branch may be a lookout post. One bush may be a safe hiding place. One corner of the feeder may belong to the boldest bird. And when another bird crosses into that space, everything changes. You see two birds suddenly chase each other across the yard. One darts forward, the other escapes, circles back, and lands on the same branch again. It looks random, but it may be a warning. Birds fight over more than food. They fight over safety, nesting spots, mates, height, shade, and access to the best escape routes. A calm feeder can become a battlefield because every seed has value, especially when food is limited. And this is where restlessness becomes more complex. It is not always fear of a predator. Sometimes it is pressure from other birds. A quiet yard may be full of tension you never noticed. Small bodies are making big decisions. Who gets to stay? Who must move? Who is too close? And when the whole group suddenly becomes uneasy, the reason may be deeper than one angry bird. Now imagine one bird suddenly launches from the feeder. No sound, no attack, no visible danger, just one sharp movement. Then another bird follows. Then three more lift from the fence. Within seconds, the entire yard empties into the trees. You are left staring at a silent feeder, wondering what just happened. This is one of the most powerful secrets of bird behavior. Fear can spread. Birds do not always need to see danger for themselves. They watch each other. They read posture. They hear small changes in calls. They notice when another bird freezes, ducks, or escapes. In a flock, one nervous body can become a warning signal for everyone. And this makes sense. If every bird waited to personally confirm danger, many would not survive. So they borrow information from each other. They trust sudden movement. They trust alarm calls. They trust the strange silence that falls right before escape. To you, it looks like overreaction. To them, it is a shared survival system. The flock becomes like one larger mind, spread across wings, eyes, and voices. That is why a peaceful yard can change in 1 second. But sometimes the warning does not come from another bird, it comes from the air itself. There are mornings when no predator appears. No cat moves through the grass. No hawk crosses the sky. No strange bird enters the yard. And still, the birds become restless. They feed faster, they move lower, they call more often. Some vanish earlier than usual. Others seem unable to settle on exposed branches. Then, hours later, the wind changes. The sky darkens, and suddenly you remember the birds. This is where their behavior begins to feel almost supernatural. But it is not magic. It is sensitivity. Birds live close to the weather in a way humans rarely do. A storm is not just an inconvenience for them. It can change everything. Flying becomes harder. Food disappears. Insects hide. Seeds become wet. Cold air pulls heat from their bodies. So they must prepare early. Many birds respond to shifts in air pressure, wind direction, light, temperature, and sound. They may sense changes long before you consciously notice them. You may walk outside and think the day feels normal, but a bird may already feel the atmosphere turning. That is why restlessness before weather can feel like a secret warning. The birds are reading tiny signals written in the air, while you are only reading the sky. And once you realize that, the yard feels different. But the strangest restlessness happens when there is no predator, no storm, and no obvious reason at all. Sometimes the mystery gets closer, because the reason birds become restless is not above them or around them. It is you. You step outside slowly, thinking you are harmless, but the birds scatter from the feeder as if something dangerous has entered the scene. You freeze. You did not shout. You did not run. You only opened the door. But from a bird's point of view, your body is huge. Your eyes are forward-facing. Your movement changes the space around the feeder. Even your attention can feel like pressure. Birds are not simply afraid of humans in a general way. Many of them learn. They learn which houses are safe. They learn which people refill feeders. They learn where cats appear. They remember windows, dogs, children, tools, and sudden movements. So when you enter the yard, they are not just seeing a person. They are reading intention. Are you moving toward them? Are you looking directly at them? Are you near their nest? Are you blocking an escape route? You think you are watching birds, but they have been watching you too. And in that moment, restlessness becomes personal. The hidden signal may not be outside your world. It may be your presence inside theirs. And if you change one small thing in their world, their reaction can become even more unsettling. One day, you place something new in the garden. A chair, a shiny decoration, a camera, a new feeder, a plant pot near the fence. To you, it is harmless. But the birds stop coming. They land nearby, then leave. They circle the area, but refuse to settle. One bird gets close, pauses, then flicks away, as if the object moved. You may wonder why they are being so dramatic. But for a small bird, unfamiliar things are never neutral at first. A new object could hide a predator. It could reflect light like moving eyes. It could shift in the wind. It could change the escape route. It could be connected to danger the bird does not yet understand. This caution has a name: fear of new things. But it is not weakness. It is intelligence. Some birds are bold and investigate quickly. Others avoid change for days. Both reactions are forms of survival. The bird is comparing today's yard with yesterday's memory. Was this here before? Is it safe? Can I trust this place now? You change the map, and the bird noticed. But the deepest reason birds become restless may be connected to something older than memory. There is another kind of restlessness that feels different. It does not look like panic. It looks like a pull. Birds gather at unusual times. They move from tree to tree. They call more often. They feed with sudden urgency, as if their bodies know something their minds do not need to explain. This can happen when seasons begin to shift. The daylight changes, temperatures move, food patterns change, and inside the bird, an ancient clock begins to wake. For some birds, restlessness is part of migration. For others, it is preparation for breeding, nesting, winter survival, or movement across local territory. You may see a bird flying back and forth across the yard and think it is confused. But it may be following signals older than your house, older than your street, older than the garden itself. Birds respond to daylight, weather, food, hormones, and possibly even magnetic cues. Their bodies carry a kind of map, not a map like yours, with roads and names, but a living map made of direction, memory, timing, and instinct. That is why their restlessness can feel mysterious. What looks like anxiety may actually be ancient knowledge waking up. The bird is not lost. It may be preparing to move. So when birds become restless, you may not be witnessing panic, you may be witnessing intelligence in motion. Now return to that window. The feeder is still there. The fence is still quiet. The tree branches move slightly in the air. But the birds no longer look simple. One turns its head, and you wonder what it heard. Another freezes, and you wonder what it saw. A small group lifts suddenly into the trees, and instead of dismissing it, you feel the question rise inside you. What did they know before I did? Because bird restlessness is not just nervous energy. It can be warning. It can be memory. It can be social tension, weather sense, survival planning, or an ancient signal moving through a tiny body. Birds are not decorations in the backyard. They are watchers. They read the sky. They read the air. They read each other. And sometimes, they read you. Maybe that is why their sudden movements feel so haunting. They remind us that the world is full of signals we have forgotten how to notice. So the next time birds become restless near your home, do not look away too quickly. Watch the direction of their eyes. Listen to the change in their calls. Notice what happens next. And then tell us in the comments, have you ever seen birds act strangely before a storm, a predator, or something you could not explain?